It's gonna be good. Flatbread taco. Here's the bite. Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to show you something that I did, let's see, how many years ago? 172. So, 60 years ago, 62 years ago, when I was around 10 years old and I was in the Boy Scouts, we would go camping, and our scoutmaster, Mr. Wayne Wilkins, he taught us how to make, he called it camp bread or skillet bread. A long time, I can't remember. I think he called it skillet bread though. It's pretty easy, just a couple ingredients, and it's really good. And now that I'm 72 years old, I realize what this stuff looks like. Yeah, it looks like flatbread. So I don't know if that's what you'd want to call it or not. I made some this morning with my breakfast. I did a cheese omelet, some roasted peppers, and made some flatbread. I'll put a picture of it up, and it's really good. It's good for breakfast, and I know it's going to be good for dinner. We've got some roasted vegetables to have it with that I made the other day. So anyway, let's get the party started. Now, if you can see, there's my old Boy Scout mess kit. Still, the patina has still burn marks. So I'll tell you what happened. I'm going to cook a full meal in that really soon. So, this is just AP, all-purpose flour. And this will make a couple of pieces of skillet bread, or whatever you want to call it. There's a little bit more in there. And it's very forgiving. Sorry about the wrong hand here. That ought to be one full cup by the time it gets all evened out. Yeah. And to this, we're going to add about, and this is my old drink cup, my Boy Scout drink cup. It holds 1 cup exactly. So I'm going to measure out a half a cup with a measuring glass here. There's about a half a glass of water. If you get it too wet, put a little bit more flour in it. We just used old table salt back in the day, 60 years ago, or yeah, 60 years ago. I like just Himalayan pink salt. You need some to give it some taste. And I just sprinkle a little bit over the top. How much? I don't know. Maybe that's probably a quarter teaspoon. So the water goes in. Like I say, it's pretty simple. I'm going to reserve a little water just in case it will change. Get back up here. Depending on what time of day, how much moisture's in the air. Has your flour been in the freezer or in the fridge, or you keep it out on a dry circuit, just in your pantry? So you just want to take it, mix it together. Like I said, this is really easy. And I'm going to try a little pizza, some flatbread pizzas out of it. That's something we never did on our campouts. I think it needs a little bit more. Hope everybody's doing good. It's a beautiful weekend. I think this morning it was around 50 degrees when we got up. And I don't know if it broke 70 today, but boy, it's a beautiful fall day. That's pretty close to being ready right there. You want it moist enough that it'll come into a ball. So, I'm just going to do a little short knead on it. And just mix it together. You could probably, if you were making a pretty good bit of this, I'm sure you could put it in a food processor or maybe a stand mixer with a dough hook. I've just been making it in this little, just a bowl. All right, let's get some flour over here on the I got a silicone mat over here. Put a little bit of that leftover flour. Get the big chunks out of it. To knead it, I just take and fold it in on itself several times. Let me get my hands clean. I'll be right back. All right, back over here. You see, I got my biscuit can. And let me get my old knife here. I made this when I was a Boy Scout. Why do I still use it when you could buy all kinds of cool knives? Because I like the old stuff. I'm an old dude. If it works, every time I use it, I think about the day I made this. So I'm just getting this into a ball. You can cut it in half. I'm just going to roll it into a ball. It's a little sticky, but I'm going to let it sit here for a minute and absorb some of the water. And you can see I get into what I'm doing. I forget to move the camera around. And I'll bring you back here in just a minute. All right. I'm going to just flour up my cutting board here just a little bit. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Save me from having to clean all my cutting board out. I throw those leftover pieces of dough in the trash. I know you can't see it. Trust me, that's what I'm doing. Put a little all-purpose flour in here. Roll this around a little bit. Get my drink cup out of the way. Put it on my cutting board. As my knife falls off the cutting board here. All right. So what am I going to do with my tin can? Yeah, I'm not cutting biscuits out of it. I guess you might could. I never thought about that. And you could probably take this and cut it into strip and make some dumplings. So I'm just going to roll it out with this tin can. Come on. I don't want it real thin. I want it to be like pita bread or flatbread, whatever you want to call that. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Come on, get off there. Once I get it to this point, I'm just going to take and flatten it out with my hand. Pick it up and kind of stretch it. almost like a pizza dough. And I'm going to do a pizza like this someday. I'll bring y'all back for it. Let's see, you're going to see me swirl it up in there and floop. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. I'd have a big mess for sure. That's about as thin as it's going to get. I mean, I could probably put some more flour on it, but yeah, I ain't going to do that today. So this goes on the silicone pad. Let's roll this one out. It's funny. I've had this old tin can for probably 20 years. Most of the cans now, they don't have a bottom that you can cut out of it, and I use this for cutting biscuits out, and it works perfect. Every once in a while, you'll see a can that you can, a lot of them are pull tabs on the top now, and get this one pulled out a little bit more round. Got a blow out there. That's easy enough. Just plop it back down. All right. Let's get this over on the silicone pad. Get the camera moved around and I don't have a rock to cook it on like we used to, but I've got a flat top grill. So let me get everything moved around. I'll get it on and we'll get it to cooking. Don't take long. Check the temperature on this. It's getting there. I've got it up on high just to heat it up. But once I lay them on there, I'm going to turn it to low. I don't want to burn it. I could have did a better job, but I did a good job on that first one. Stretch it out a little bit more here. Alright, looks a little better. It's all going to taste the same. That's better. All right. I've got it sprayed with a little bit of butter spray. Turn it on low. Don't want to burn it, just want to get some heat to it, cook it. We would have done that in my Boy Scout mess kit after frying bacon and before we put our scrambled eggs or eggs in there or sausage, whatever it had the oil in it, or we carried some shortened, put it in there and cook it like that. Say this is rustic bread, rustic flatbread, rustic pizza, but it sure is good to be so simple. Look under here and see what she's doing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it on over. Getting on up there. You can see it's starting to puff up here. couple of different places, even right here. See what it looks like underneath. Oh yeah, it's getting real color on it now. You can see it's even puffing up over here. Oh yeah, it's looking good on the backside now. I want a little color in it. I always like to say, I like suntan on my toast. Ow, that's hot. I want suntan on my toast, except on my eggs. I don't want suntan. Let's see what it looks like. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I know it ain't completely round, but they say pie is square, so my flatbread is, I know it's oblong, I don't know, but it's going to be good. There you are. Got a couple of pieces of chicken I heated up in the microwave. Let me get this one that's not the prettiest one out here. Man, it's still warm. Dang, it's still warm. What's it tear like? It tears just like flatbread. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, 10 or 11 years old, Argyle, Texas, we never heard of such a thing called flatbread. Except that is so hot, I gotta get a knife and cut me a chunk off there. There you go. Matter of fact, my wife and I were discussing, I don't think I ever heard the word fajita until I was in my 30s. And only tacos we knew came from Jack in the Box. All right, just get a bite of this. You can see the thickness of it. And I guess you could roll it, if you could get it thin enough, you could make tortillas out of it, or I forget what they call that thick tortilla that they have. I'm gonna put it in this olive oil and vinegar solution. It's still pretty warm, but Boy, it's really good. I mean, it's perfectly cooked. Great flavor. Well, olive oil and balsamic vinegar is a really good mixture. And this dinner is going to be really good. I'll take in some of these potatoes and roll it up and make like a taco out of it. Well, there you are, boys and girls. That's how to make my camp bread. Thanks to Mr. Wayne Wilkinson. He was my scoutmaster. He was a fireman in Dallas, Texas, retired, and he was a VW dude. He must have had 100 VWs. He sold parts, motors. There wasn't nothing to him. All the bugs is the only thing he dealt in, and maybe a couple of Type 2s. Anyway, I learned this from him. He was a cool guy to have as a scoutmaster. I kept in touch with him and almost until his death. I had moved away when I heard that he had passed away. So, anyway, please subscribe, comment, let me know if you've ever fixed flatbread like this. If you have in this same recipe, you know it's good. If not, try it. You'll really like it. I mean, but by the time you can go to the store and pick up a package of flatbread, you can have this made. I'm telling you, it's that quick. So, see you on the next video, and I'm gonna have my dinner. Got to call the wife in here. Talk to y'all later.